6 Ekurhuleni Metro Police Officers charged with robbery with aggravating circumstances and defeating the ends of justice have been granted bail of 3,000 rands each in the Boksburg Magistrate's Court. The investigating officer, Independent Police Investigative Assistant Director Ekurhuleni Thobakgale, told the court in the bail bid that while he does not oppose their release pending trial, he would leave it up to the court's discretion. But Thobakgale testified that the alleged victim was afraid of the officers. South African Policing Union spokesperson Lesiba Thobakgale joins us now via video link to weigh in on this case. Thank you so much, Lesiba, for your time. What is your reaction to the conduct of the officers, firstly, that eventually led to their arrests and, of course, the serious charges against them?
Thank you, Nati, for hearing us, and greetings to your viewers back home. It is unfortunate that police officers got to be arrested based on those allegations that were labeled against them. We are referring to the Metro Traffic Police, clearly. And in this regard, I think our stance, it remains to be clear that we clearly condemn any form of criminality, being it of corruption. And we are also mentioning this important fact that anyone before the law, they are not guilty up until such time that they are proven guilty. And further to that, we are not running away from where generally there happen to be some rotten elements, and those rotten elements should be dealt with. But in cases like this, and even in this regard, it is quite our view as a union to say that we should allow the law to take its course in this regard. And also, we just have a question to say, as they were arrested based on those allegations, we have a position to say that you have to deal with the corrupter and the corrupted in regards to these types of situations, because that is what will clearly eliminate corruption in our society generally so. But also zooming into this matter, we are just concerned to say, the basis that the complainant, who is the alleged Congolese, that he was extorted money, to say what really has happened to him in this case. What are the circumstances around there? Because remember, IPED, it is still investigating this case. And we must say it that we have seen a modus operandi when it comes to drug cases, where you find that some of the drug lords, they have learned to use this strategy to say when the police, they come to arrest them, they know that the better way to really scare the police from coming to them is to make allegations against them, to say that the police have taken money from them. Because in this case, they were not arrested on scene where, money was found on them in regard. So we are saying that we have noted.
Just in terms of this case, though, Lesiba, I just need to interject there. The court heard that there are previous complaints against all 6 of the officers that are involved in this particular case, and those are still under investigation. I mean, this does raise some serious, complaints and serious just implications in terms of what this means and how this probably further erodes the trust between, some police officers or even Metro police officers. Because I hear what you're saying in terms of corrupter, corruptee, but circumstances seem to be different in this particular case.
Now, what we are saying, I think that we are saying it as a principle, and we still maintain the corrupter and the corrupted, that they need to be dealt with. And zooming into the case, like you were saying, we were still laboring on the point that, the modus operandi that is being used, mostly because drug lords, they are doing illegal activities. And by raising allegations against police that the police have done this, they have done that, then it is a modus operandi. We have noticed that they use that so that others can stop, not going to go and search and seizure. They can continue with their illegal activities. We are not saying that is the case in this case, but we have noted and we have observed such a modus operandi. And clear, you are correct. in terms of to say such incidents, they erode the relationship, the trust relationship between the members of society and the police, which we have worked so hard in order to really make sure that we regain that trust, and we will continue to do so. But we are saying that we must remember that it is not every traffic police, it is not every law enforcement officers who are involved in illegal activities or criminal activities, because majority of them are doing what is expected of them. And when there's allegations of this nature, no one should just come with a blanket approach. And just say law enforcement are this and that.
I got you.
We need to really isolate cases and appreciate the good work that is being done by most of our law enforcement officers.
What process should the officers have followed in a situation like this? I'm asking this question in light, of course, as we are hearing that this particular complainant in this case was frightened of these police officers who he says overpowered him. I mean, the officers asked to see the driver's license and identification documents. We understand that the man had then stopped and given him given the officers the documentation, yet they still insisted to go to his place of residence, where then the robbery allegedly then took place. They insisted on driving him home with him, and that's according to just some of the charge sheet. But what is the process that should have happened here? For the benefit, of course, of our viewers too, to understand that should they have driven him home? Should they go to a police station nearby? What's the process?
Every case has its own merits, unfortunately, and circumstances around each case, they will always differ. And in most cases, if they are to go to his residence, generally, because we really, remember, this matter is still sub judice, and one cannot really zoom into deeper to say what were the reasons. But generally, in terms of how law enforcement are working, sometimes you find that there's things or there's evidence that you happen to find that will suggest that there is more of whatever evidence that one came across, that is then probing for them to go look out for more. Sometimes you find that you are just seeing a tip of an iceberg, and at a later stage, if you investigate further, there is just a bigger iceberg when you really go investigate further. So we maintain the issue that every case has its own merits. It depends on what are the circumstances around there. And for the fact that it is still sub judice, it is before the courts, we think that we should indeed really allow the law to take its course, because there has been allegations, there have been arrests, then definitely the court, it is quite a right place to ventilate such matters in order to see what will the outcome be at the end of the day when the case is finalized.
Lesiba, thank you so much for your time. Lesiba Thobakgale is the spokesperson for the South African Policing Union.